I want you to take this video very, very serious, whoever you are out there watching. I genuinely believe 2 weeks can change your life, and I'll tell you a story how 2 weeks in cryptocurrency completely changed the life for me. But before that, we're going to go back to our classic characters. We have a Jeffrey. A Jeffrey doesn't know what he's doing. He means the best in cryptocurrency, but he doesn't have the right strategy. And that might be you right now. It was me in the last bull run. I'm hoping to have the Adonis strategy for this bull run. And I'll tell you what that means by the end of this video. But Jeffrey's probably watching crypto videos right now and he's not taking action. That might be you right now. You might be watching a lot of crypto YouTubers in the game, and that's a great start, right? Because it gives you an idea of what people are doing right now. If the guys are honest enough, they'll tell you about their losses and how they completely effed up previous bull runs. And you can use that to your advantage. You can use that to take all the lessons and not make them in this bull run and exit this bull run with a good bag of cash. But Jeffrey, he feels like he's in a massive rut. The portfolio is looking kind of empty. But will Jeffrey actually start investing or continue to watch on the sidelines? A lot of guys out there, they mean the best. They want to get involved in cryptocurrency, but they're sitting with two major problems. Number one, they don't make enough money. At the end of every month, they have zero. Or number two, they make good money, but they're not taking any action. They're waiting for that perfect time to enter cryptocurrency. Promise you, it's not going to happen like that. Now, you have the Adonis on the other side, somebody that we're all aspiring to be, e.g. the Adonis could be a great body, a great mind, and a great portfolio. That's what I look at when I look at Adonis. That's what he has. He has all the boxes ticked off. He quit the job, he travels the world, and he does what he wants. I think that's a good goal for everybody after this bull run. I think you can honestly achieve that. Okay, he sticks to a plan. He doesn't get any hesitation. Once he's ready, he simply goes. If he says he's going to do something, e.g. he's going to buy this coin, he sticks to the plan. No matter what the market sentiment is, no matter what's happening in the world, no matter what his friends, his mom, his dad are saying about cryptocurrency, he has to say, this is my chance, this is my shot. Chances are your mom, your dad, your co-workers, although they mean the best, do they have the life that you want? And if they don't, fortunately, although they mean the best for you, maybe it's in your best interest to go down a different route. Just food for thought. Now, when Adonis was going through the 2025 bull run, he prints. And unfortunately, Jeffrey, they buy the top. That's quite sad, isn't it? When I tell you that little story, although it's made up, it's a lot of people's previous bull runs. And it's going to be a lot of people's bull runs in 2025. It's very sad, okay? Because the Jeffreys, they mean the best. They want to do well, but they're not making enough money. Their expenses are too high, or they're waiting for the perfect entry. So they have a lot of ideas. They're just failing on execution that will keep them behind. Here's a perfect example. Solana chat. You can bring this up on most coins. Most coins have a 2021 bull run. They have a 2025 bear market, or a 2021 bear market, 2022 bear market. And then chances are most of them are coming back today. Now, some coins aren't alive today. That's fine. You just don't invest in them, right? You can't get everything right. That's why we build a diversified portfolio. But don't you think it's pretty obvious when you just look at charts like Solana? For me, it's just obvious, like, how to be a Jeffrey and how to be Adonis. And Adonis simply buys when he does some research, he believes in the coin, and he sells. It's very simple. A Jeffrey, and this was me in the last bull run again. Will other crypto guys tell you this on the internet? Maybe. They'll try and make themselves out to be the smartest people in the world. I'm not the smartest investor in the world. If you watch my channel consistently, you'll know that. I've made so many mistakes. I'm not here to give you the perfect trades, the perfect entries. If you found that guy, and he's actually telling the truth, let me know. I'm here to give you a realistic output of what is possible if you take action and start building income and building a portfolio. A lot of Jeffreys bought the peak 2021 bull run of Solana, Ethereum, BNB, Cardano, Bitcoin. And the Jeffreys wrote it down. Again, the Adonises came back in after they made all the money in 21, or maybe they were new in the game. Maybe this was their first bull run. Okay, maybe this was you. You seen Solana cheap. You seen Solana was undervalued. You seen all the negativity on Solana. Now again, replace Solana with whatever coin you're interested in. And you know what they did? They were like, I've been here before, I've seen this before. Solana is going to take off. And they're up a 10x before the bull run. This is phase 1. We're in 24. You know what the Jeffries will do? They'll buy this thing at $5, $6, $7, $800, $900, maybe $1,000. Crash again. The Adonis will come back in if Solana's still a good play. And it'll constantly happen. It's really sad, man. Because the Jeffrey, he means the best. He's trying his hardest. But you know what happens in between this? The Jeffrey is slaving away at his job. He's like, okay, maybe next bull run will make it happen. But he's too scared to buy and too scared to execute when times are tough, when the market's red. And we're in this sort of phase right now, man. If you look at cryptocurrency, Bitcoin 55k, did you think that was going to happen when Bitcoin skipped 70k? Maybe you did. You're smarter than me. I didn't think it was going to happen. All we can do is get income and be spread. Okay? There's nothing to stop Bitcoin going into 40k's again. There's nothing to stop that. The question is, are you going to take advantage? Or are you going to try and time this beautifully well because you're such a good trader? That's up to you. Maybe you might be that guy. I'm not that guy. All I can do is DCA this on the way down if it goes to down, or continue to DCA till I'm happy with my bag on whatever coin. It doesn't have to be Solana. That's all you can do, man. That's really how you create generational wealth. Because creating generational wealth in crypto, it doesn't have to be over a week. Everybody thinks this game in crypto, you have to make $1 million in the next week or next month. It's brutal, man, to make $1 million. And I almost got there in the last bull run. I'll tell you that story in a second. It's a slow journey compared to like real estate, making a business, etc., or investing in stocks. And that's why we're interested in cryptocurrency, because it is a faster way. But it generally still takes years. You know, until the peak bull run, if we estimate, it's going to probably be another year, right? But we've been in this game for 2 years already when we were buying here. Okay? It still takes years, man. Creating generational wealth, if you were to ask yourself seriously and ask millionaires, how long did it take? They'll say decades. Crypto millionaires, they'll say 1 or 2 years investing in good coins. But it still takes years. It doesn't take a month or a week. And if you think generally that is the case because you read some story about how a millionaire bought dog with hat or Brett at $0 or a penny or 0.0001, there's cases out there. But it's not you, bro. It's not you. We all start as a Jeffrey investor, okay? And our goal is to be this. But you're not going to get there by thinking you're going to be able to do it overnight. That's just harsh reality, man. If you don't like that, go and watch a crypto YouTuber that's promoting the next $1 million X coin, okay? Chances are, if he's already talking about it, it's in his best interest to dump on you, okay? And I'll tell you right now, the coins I talk about today, whether you like them or not, my best interest is to sell to the Jeffries. And if that's you, I feel that's your fault. And if you don't like that, that's fine. But my best interest is to be the Adonis bull run and accumulate whatever coin I believe in CoinMarketCap and Dextos on a pre-sale, and to sell to the Jeffries. I have to sell to somebody. You have to sell to somebody, and unfortunately wreck those people to protect yourself. That's the game. And if you don't like that, continue to work at your job, continue to slave away, continue to make less money, and die to inflation. That's the world we live in. That is what we're playing. Just understand that. It's a brutal game, and that happened to me in the last bull run. Okay, so when I was buying, somebody else was selling to me, and they were making millions of dollars, but I was losing it all. So I want you to imagine this. This was me in 2020, January. It's 2020, and I see these prices. Okay, this is when I really first to buy Ethereum at $400. Okay, this was about, I don't know, September, August, October 2020. And this is when I actually first pulled the trigger, okay? And this did me well. You know, Ethereum went up to 4.9k. I think I first bought my Bitcoin about 18, 19k, so a little bit later than this was my first Bitcoin buy. I wanted to buy Ethereum, right? That was my main goal. But for a whole year, when I was a Jeffrey and I was just looking at cryptocurrency, I was just thinking, right? I was just thinking. This is when I should have been buying these coins, when Bitcoin was like 3.8, C19 crash. And here's the thing. It took me a whole year to really decide to pull the trigger. Now, the unfortunate situation with you right now is if you take a whole year to finally pull the trigger, to finally say, okay, now is a good time, prices are going to be at all-time high. The good thing for me was this was way before phase 1 of a bull run. We're already there right now. So if it takes you a whole year, you're going to be buying the tops, what I believe in on this cycle. That is a bad mentality, because what's happening after that? You're going to lose all the money, and then you're going to have to wait another 4 years of saying, oh shit, now I know the game. I'm not convincing you guys to buy cryptocurrency, but I'm just telling you, if you have the idea to start a portfolio, to start investing now, maybe you've came into some money, maybe you're starting to make good money and you're like, okay, now's the time. But let me just research for a whole fucking year. You're going to miss out, man. And it's going to cost you 4 to 5 years of your time to finally understand the game. If you play that game. It's not good, man. I'm telling you that right now. So what happened to me in my story was I was starting to make a lot of money on ecom. Here was me, September. And it's so cool that I managed to document this, because I didn't want to make YouTube videos on my ecom store. I just wanted to print money. But I started to document this because I knew one day I would tell a story like this on maybe another channel. And that's where we are today. So I was doing stores, 100K in 100 days. This was my first month in this store. We crossed about 21K GBP, which is maybe about 26K USD in my first month of launching this new store. Had many other stores, and I was scaling a lot of stores. And I started to document a store to tell this story. And the problem I had was, it might be a bit arrogant, but I was cash rich, investment poor. I could put all this time and effort into stores. That might be you in your job right now. You're obviously not making 26K a month in your job. But what I wanted to do, and what I really wanted to understand was, okay, I could put all this work in, the upfront work, okay? But I wanted to have money where I can invest 10K, 20K, 30K a month in income that would get me a investment portfolio that would help multiply that in the background, where I could go back to work in the stores. But I just didn't know if that was a stock market. I got interested in real estate. But one of my clients, his name was Samir. This wasn't actually Samir, by the way. I just found a guy that looked like them. This might be a little bit racist, but oh well. Oh well. He was a lot younger than this. He was maybe 19, 20. He was my first client, or one of my clients, should I say. And he was in crypto, and his problem was he had a lot of crypto. He understood crypto, but he was struggling with ecom. And one of the stories we had was after our ecom call, when I was fixing his store, telling how I scale, we kind of just talked for like 1 to 2 hours after this call, and he's like, Jake, you're making all this money. You really should start to grow a cryptocurrency investment portfolio. And I told him I was already interested in that, but I just didn't think it was the right time to buy. And again, this is just understand what I'm saying here. I was scared. I was supposed to be nervous because I didn't want to put all this money that I was making on the ecom stores just to lose it on a fucking coin. It was like, Jake, it doesn't have to be like that. You know, Ethereum's $400, Bitcoin's about 18K, give or take. He's like, just invest in those two coins, and I promise you, you'll make money. He's told me the whole story about the 4-year cycle, etc. Okay? And he's like, Jake, you need to put profits in crypto. You need to do this, man, because you're going to be able to scale your stores, and you're going to be able to put some money into cryptocurrency. And what's going to happen in this next bull run, remember this 2020, 2021, is you're going to check your cryptocurrency portfolio by 2021, and you're just going to be like, how the fuck did that happen? He said, Jake, just buy these coins. Don't even look at your wallet. And just wait 1 year. And you look at your portfolio. Obviously, I didn't do this. I was logging in out every single day because that's what we do. We're like, how is this doing? How is this investment doing? But he said, just don't look at it. Try not to look at it. Like I said, it didn't happen. I was looking at every single second. And it took 2 weeks of me figuring this out, chatting with him consistently. It was almost like he was buying consulting for me, then I almost was like getting consulting for him. So he was just pretty much a free client at that point because I would do the ecom calls with him, and then he would give me like cryptocurrency lessons. And he convinced me to buy. And it was the best lessons I had. The problem was I didn't really take him up on like exit strategies, and I'll share that right now. But he told me 3 things, and I'll tell you this. Why and how certain coins move, what coins to look at, and I'll give you a little plus here. When coins are cheap and undervalued, he said, it's very scary and it can feel like the wrong thing to do, like you're chucking money at a fire. But if these coins still have strong narratives, like Solana, in that example, whenever he's talking shit about them, okay, he's like, buy red, sell green. He told me about the 4-year cycle, and unfortunately, for me, this is the only part I ignored because I got so greedy. Once my cryptocurrency hit 950K, give or take the peak, I was like, okay, I should be selling right here. Samir told me to sell right here. but I want more. And that was my biggest lesson. So now I know, experience like all the money I lost, to just get everything right that he told me and just do that last part. And that's all you need to do. So what would happen was my portfolio exploded. Like I said, I made hundreds of thousands of dollars while I was still focused on the ecom game. But ultimately, I got wrecked in the end. But what it gave me was the taste of what cryptocurrency can do. And I genuinely believe crypto can change your life if you execute on this game well. So my advice for you, if you want to milk this 2025 bull run, I'm not going to give you coins, right? You all want coins. You're all eager. What's the next coin Jake's going to mention? That's not good advice for you because that doesn't matter. If you feel like you're in a rut with crypto and money in general, it's a great way because you can do all the hard work, but you can fail at the last hurdle. Here's the diagram. He actually shared this with me, and this is old because it stopped at 2022, but this is when we really started to talk about it. How happy were we when we were much younger, right? You might be older than this, you might be younger than this. It doesn't really matter. This time frame isn't important. What happens is you grow up, there's not really much money problems, etc. Becomes a blur when you finish high school, and then you get into the real world. You might start your first job, you might take out your first mortgage with a girl. What happens is once you start to pay stuff and you become old enough, it's now once you finish school, nobody really tells you this. It's like time to get a job. Time to get a job, Jeffrey. What happens is the world starts to slowly eat you up. People always say the hardest times in their life was like high school, college, etc. Those were the easiest times. You don't have to worry about money. But when you exit that game, can't be at college, university forever. Don't be one of those guys that's fucking studying at like 30, 40, 50 years old. You realize the world is very much against you. And there's not much options if you have a low income. And by 2022, in this example, you can take this for 2024 or 2025, you're like, fuck. How did things get so difficult? When you thought college and everything was the hardest part of your life, it's actually the easiest part. You don't have to worry about money or anything. And now when you're in the real world, you've got to start fighting for yourself. And I'll tell you this by facts. Hard times are coming. If our body, because you shouldn't just go after finances, right? Body, mind, and finances need to be the most important things. They need to be all in check, right? If you're a rich guy that's going to die tomorrow, doesn't matter how much money you have. You'll trade lives with a broke guy that's got a perfect, like, not physique, healthiness, if that makes sense. If your mind isn't right, doesn't matter how much money you have, you'll just go down the route of drugs and alcohol. So these need to be all in check. And I would generally ask yourself right now, have you checked off all these? You might think you have. Okay? Have you got enough cryptocurrency portfolio? Are you making enough money? If you be honest with yourself, okay, now it's time to get our finances in check. If your body is not looking the best, e.g. your health, etc., are you struggling with some stuff? Okay, let's get that in check. Is your mind mentally stable? People overlook this stuff. It's generally serious, man. These all need to be in check. Once these are in check, you can start to enjoy life. You can go back to this guy. So here's some harsh realities, and this is kind of sad, but this is only going to get worse. This is UK. Don't have the US numbers. UK guys will understand this. UK consumer price increased by over 20% in the last 2 years to May 2024. Okay? And there's a breakdown of the living cost in 2022. This is obviously 2022. It's a lot higher. And what would happen was, this is per monthly or per weekly. I would actually disagree with this a lot. But what pretty much happened was food and drink went an average price about £20. Social, because we want to have a good time. We don't want to just work, pay rent, eat food, and just sit in the dark all day. That went up by £20 a week. Travels went down. Okay, maybe that's because, guess what, nobody's traveling because they can't afford it. That's actually worse. Fuel, wouldn't agree with that. Fuel's well up. Can you fill up your car for £13 a week if you're traveling 30 minutes an hour in traffic? Is that true? I don't know, let me know. Housing costs, pretty much the same. Food. Who's spending £26 a week on food? I'll come back to that later. £26 a week on food. I spend £26 for half of my meals a day. Maybe that's just me. I like to eat good steaks, etc. But I wouldn't agree with that. The point is, everything's going up. And 2024 is much higher. And here's what I found. Is this me, or is this just dead wrong? The average food bill is £42 per week. Comment below. For me, 2 steaks cost more than that, give or take. Let alone your sides, let alone like your coffees, let alone your water. Don't agree with that. Maybe this is just bare minimum, but this is not the average, to me. Here's the problem. The median salary in Scotland is £20,000. So somebody makes £20,000 a year. Median, right? We're not talking about highs, we're not talking about lows. This is the median standard. Okay. Maybe it's 25, 26k USD. Now, yes, some people make more, some people make less, right? I get it. But here's the problem. The average rental area in Glasgow is £1,100. Okay? So if you did that times 12, that's per month, it's 14k people are paying on rent, GBP. E.g., you have 6k left. For what? Food, car payments. Okay. Well, you're already in a negative, according to me, if that is the average. So you have zero entertainment, zero investments to try and escape. Because if this is true, the average person has an income problem. How is he going to invest in cryptocurrency? If you're one of the fortunate people that you make more in this, your expenses are lower in this, you better start funneling that back in cryptocurrency to try and escape, or you're effed. Because this is only going to get higher. And income is going to get higher. It might feel like you're getting higher, but inflation is going up higher than that. So you're actually making less because you can buy less stuff. I want you to comment right now. The average income, comment below generally. What is the average income for your area plus expenses? And is there any way the normie can escape? And that's when I got this back to this title, okay, that it takes you 2 weeks can change your life. E.g., the 2 weeks, my story, was Samir telling me, come on, Jake, you know the game, it's time to go. Because I wasted a whole year when prices are way lower. And if it takes you a year like it took me, there is no shot for you, man, if you're the average person. This channel is for the average investor. So if you don't want to be average anymore, and you don't want to be struggling to pay your rent, etc., you better cut your expenses, because it's going to get worse. That sucks, man, because it's like, oh shit, we can barely afford ends meet now. Now we have to cut our expenses, Jake's saying. Okay, we better get our income up. It's hard to do, man. You need a new job. You need to work more hours. You need to work on the side. You're already working so much for most people. So how is the average person supposed to escape? Well, you have to go after cryptocurrency, in my opinion, because there's no other investment vehicle that will get you to that goal. And it's going to be difficult. There's going to be doubters. There's going to be people that say, this is not a good route, man. You're barely making enough ends meet as it is. Do you really want to chuck your last couple of $1,000s at this cryptocurrency coin and this one and this one? I would argue yes. Because if you're serious about becoming a better version of yourself by 2025, what else are you going to do? Can't buy real estate. There's no money to be made for a small investor. You're going to buy some stocks and make maybe 10% per year on the S&P 500? 10% of what? You have to take action right now, whether you think it's the best time to invest or not, where you're trying to time the bottoms of 40k, 45k Bitcoin, if we even get there. You might get there. But for the average person, they can't just sit and look at the charts all day because they have to go and earn that income to pay for the fucking rent and the fucking food bills and blah-de-blah. Just food for thought, man. It's very serious what we're about to experience in the real world. So you better take this crypto game seriously, or you better just not get involved at all. Because this is our last shot if you're the average person to change your life. Whether you believe or that or not. I don't know.